Before we go on to the next thing, I just want to say, because of the tension that has been brought about with the Teen Outback, I feel like I need to say something public, and we did send something out on Sunday on our social media page. However, I don't think that decisions like this should be addressed on social media. They need to be in public forums, and part of that is here that I just encourage, as elected officials, that we monitor the situation, that we make sure that we don't, I know some of you, I've been a volunteer, some of you have worked very hard at the Teen Outback, but that the services that are provided at the Teen Outback, we don't lose those for our youth. And I want to continue to ensure that we continually monitor the situation and see if there's any contribution the city has for our youth going forward, whatever that happens to be.
So how are we associated with the Teen Outback program?
How are we associated?
Yes. We have a contract?
We had no contract.
We lease, the city of Huntingburg leases the Teen Outback building from the Southwestern West County School Corporation.
Okay.
And then we turn around, we sublease it to the Huntingburg Youth Canteen, Inc., which does business as, or also known as Teen Outback.
And
that lease expires 2028, I think.
And we also provide a stipend, so to speak, for their utilities. I think that's at $20,000 a year, I believe.
Yes. Yeah.
So if they spend $17,000 on utilities, they actually get a $3,000 check. If they spend $23,000, they owe us $3,000. Is how that works. So, but it is a $20,000 credit towards the utilities.
So my thinking was, if we the lease holders, we should have some skin in the game. Is that what you're trying? Would that be fair to say?
Until 2028.
Okay. Any other questions?
Well, clearly I was the president of that board. I was on the board for many, many, many years. My kids went there as children, and I got on the board then and stayed on the board for many years after they were not going to the Teen Outback anymore. So I have a particular love for that property. I've spent a lot of time there, a lot of events, recruited a lot of volunteers over the years. I donate money to the property or to the facility or to the Teen Outback organization, and so I'm going to speak for me personally that I would like to see, and will do whatever I can in my power as an individual to make sure that their programming continues. The kids love that place, as the Facebook and social media posts kind of confirm. Mm-hmm. And the parents, there's a lot of the adults that grew up going to the Teen Outback, and their kids are not going. And so I think that's probably why the outcry was so swift when word was out that demolishing that property was on the table, that was being considered. And I personally hope that any decision makers going forward have noticed how much the people of this county, and specifically of Huntingburg, how much they value that property, and how much they value the work that the Teen Outback Board does, and acknowledging the hundreds of kids that go through those doors every week, every month. Unless there was a proper replacement, there will likely be a lot of angst over losing a property like that, losing programming, and so I don't know what our official capacity is as a council, outside of exploring maybe how the lease puts us involved, but I know we have very powerful voices as a council, and that might be the most valuable thing we bring to the discussion is, and I know where my feelings are. I can't speak for the rest of the council, but it's it's certainly probably the biggest issue going on in Huntingburg right now. And so I do agree, Mayor, that we need to keep our eye on that. We need to
I
be
do,
aware.
yeah. And likewise, I've not been a big volunteer, but I have been involved. I've donated money on annual basis over the past few years there too, especially, when Young Life was anew, I was involved in that. And then Teen Outback was the one that provided us an opportunity to bring our youth there and have our Sunday night meetings for the board, as we form that, we're putting things through. So it's not just the programming that's there. Well, our summer park program also relies on that facility for our summer park program.
In the library, when the library is being renovated, the Teen Outback stepped up and they now have their summer programs there, and they had their, even a lot of school corporation programs are there because there's not space other places. So I think the building is utilized way more than just 1 or 2 dances a month. And I think that I am currently on the board of the Teen Outback, and I encourage anyone who wants to see the facility to tour it because it does offer a lot for the kids. And I think it's so important to get kids off of their phone, talking to each other, interacting with each other personally, face to face, not just on their phones or through video games or whatever. So I strongly support the Teen Outback and their cause.
Well, one of the answers is, of course, the school corporation is contractually obligated to lease that property until 2028. And so I just think that if you either have a personal position or as a council you have a position, I think you need to make it known to the school board members that what your concerns are. Make it heard. Because they own the building. It's their call.
true. I remember the stellar application or the video I think I sent to all you guys when Jeff explained what the Teen Outback did for the city of Huntingburg and for the community. And possibly that was part of the grant process of the stellar was because we had the tightness of the families and the kids. I've been at that place many times. My kid's been through it. I've been through it as the other facility before then. I just hate to sit and leave. And my interpretation of what I've been reading on Facebook from both sides is if they get rid of a 9,000 to 10,000 square foot facility and in the new facility will only have 1,000 square feet, it's not going to be anywhere close to what it was in the past. I hope I'm wrong on that, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere close to the square footage and what they could use with the new part of the building. So that being said, I echo what you guys say too. I just would hate to see this gone.
They just had a big part of they played a big part in our community for a lot of years. I can speak, Tim knows where I'm coming from. Friends of Raider Softball was formed, and this will connect in just a second, but Friends of Raider Softball was formed to raise awareness and raise money for why the city the school needed its own softball complex. And a lot of the money that we raised to build the field happened at the Teen Outback. They have a unique facility, lots of parking. They had access to water and indoors in case it rained, and we had thousands of pork chops that we sold over a period of 20-some years out of that facility, and they never charged us to use it. And all of that money that we raised went into building the field, and then another 100,000 after the field was built that was raised at that facility, not all at that facility, but that was raised partly at that facility to fund an endowment at the community foundation that now supports the softball program till the end of time. And that's just one function that took place at the Teen Outback. They raise their own money. The school doesn't put any money. Respectfully, they do take care of the grass, which is a big deal for the Teen Outback. But they don't donate to the facility. They don't take care of any of the building maintenance. The Teen Outback raises that money themselves in donations. And used to many years ago, they charged kids to come in, and I understand that you don't even do that anymore. Mm-hmm. And so they've been so generous to our community for so long, and that's why, again, I think the outcry was so swift and fierce about people defending the Teen Outback and what they do. That's just one example with what Friends of Raider Softball did there, but there's churches that meet there, and there's nonprofits, as you guys have just addressed, but anyway, just the fabric, the fabric of Huntingburg is really woven from that. I mean, it's so visible. First of all, it's right there in the middle of town, the most heavily traveled intersection in the county, I've heard, and it's right there for people to see. It's easy for people to go by there and see the activities that are going on, and it just, again, people love that that's there, and so it would be a hard sell to convince me and many other people that it's not needed anymore. So
Or that
anyway.
the trade-off, it would be worth it.
Yeah.
Of the new proposed facility. I think that it would be a huge step backwards for our community and our youth.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I want to provide you all, I knew you were passionate, we were all passionate about it, so I wanted to provide that opportunity today.
Yeah.
Open forum, where we have some of the press members here that are taking note, I think, of what was said here today. I look at it, and my wife and I spoke to her, I said, well, it's a building, right? I mean, it is a building, but there's so many things that happen within those walls and outside of those walls. The lawn is very well utilized for those events, but it's more of what grew out of that building versus the building itself. So let's not lose that programming and that opportunity for our youth.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.